Hello everyone. Previously we had discussed about the uh, index DB for the persistent storage, right? How to create and use the index DB as well as how to retrieve all the records from the index DB. That's what we saw in the previous example. Today we'll be seeing how to make use of the fetch API and error handling, right? So basically what does fetch API do and how it is used? Let's see the same with the simple example. Initially we'll go with the basic fetch request, and the second example we'll see how to handle the HTTP errors. So what does fetch API do? The fetch API provides a modern way to make network requests, right? Uh, You just have to remember one thing. The fetch API provides a modern way to make network requests, returning promises for easier chaining and error handling. Keep in mind that it is used to make the network requests, returning promises for easier chaining and error handling, right? Let's see the same thing. Let's see the same and with the simple basic fetch request, right? So I'll just come here. We are not displaying anything in the UI. I'll just show how to make use of the fetch, and let's see the data in the just browser console, right? I'll just make use of the fetch here. So within the fetch, let me give the URL. I already have the URL. This you can just search for the JSON placeholder. You'll get the dummy API, right? So I'll just give this one. What I'll do, I'll just make use of then. Within this, you can call anything here. So what I'm doing here, I'll just remove this one. I'll just call a response here, res. So here, this will be response.json. Let's give initially response.json, right? So then again, I'll just make use of the then here. Let's give data. Let's just log the data that is coming from the API here. Here, simple to log, if there is some error, so we have to log the error as well, right? So I'll just make use of the try and catch error mechanism. So here, let me remove this one semicolon. So I'll just give here dot catch of, let me call this one error ERR. So here, let me quickly give console log, or we can just make use of the console error as well, right? Console.error of within strings, I'll just give the error. Let's display the error along with the other one. Let's call ERR. So I hope this is clear. If I'll just format the document once, I'll just come here. Let me do something. Let me just quickly explain what I've done here. So here, fetch of URL, this one, what I have given here, we are making a network request using this one. Basically, just try to remember, we are just making a network request. So what is a response.json here doing? This one in the next line, basically. Here, this converts the response to JavaScript object notation, nothing but response.json. JSON, right? So this converts the response to JavaScript, JSON. Then we are just logging the data. If there is any error, then we are logging the error by making use of then and catch, right? So just also go through the error handling mechanisms in the JavaScript as well. It's very simple. It consists of try, catch, finally, and errors. So basically, I'll just tell in words. You just try that with the example as well, right? Try, basically it runs the codes, and catch, it is used to catch the errors. Finally, basically what it does is it will run the code regardless of the result, and it will throw the custom error message if any error is found. Basically, it's simple. I insist, just Google it and try to implement the same with the example. You will understand the error handling mechanism pretty well if you try to understand. If you learn with the example, right? So let me come here now. Let me give open with live server. So what I have done here is I have just created the index.html file. I have included the index.js file here. That's it, in the index.html file. So I'll just come here. Let me press F12. So here you can clearly see we are getting the object, right? Within this one, we are having body, ID, title and user ID. You can clearly see here. This one, this is prototype. This is fine. Other properties you can see here by clicking the prototype. So here we are not displaying anything in the this one UI. This is just the example of how to make use of the fetch, right? Fetch API. So within the API, we are having this one body, ID and title. You can clearly see. So this is working absolutely correct. Just come here. This works absolutely correct. So let's do one thing. This is it for the basically basic fetch request. So next, let's try to understand handling the HTTP errors, right? So let me delete this one. So what I'll do, I'll just make use of the then itself. Let's call a response here. This one, within this, I'll just give here if not of response. I mean, if you are not getting the response dot okay, sorry, I have to give here okay, right? So yeah, not of response dot okay. So then we will throw the error. I'll just make use of throw new error. This E has to be capital, sorry. Yeah. I'll just give something inside the string like HTTP error. Let me give here ERR. And so let's make use of the template literals instead. So I'll just come here. Let me give here backticks. So yeah, here let me call response dot status. So we are displaying the response status accordingly with the error, right? If something goes wrong. So here return, let me return response dot JSON, right? So I hope this is clear. So again, here I'll just come. Let me make use of then. So here let me pass data. Let me give. Let me log data here. This is simple. Let me remove this semicolon. So let me give here catch of error. This one. Let me log this one. If we get any error, we have to display the error, right? So here I'll just log error along with the error message. So I'll go with error dot message. So I hope this is completely clear. Now, if this doesn't work, we will if there is something wrong with the API or if there is something wrong with the request, then we have to get the response status. So HTTP code along with the this one error message. So that's what we are doing here. So I'll just format the document once. So here this is correct, I think. So this was working for the previous example, right? This will not display any error message. If there is any this thing, if there is something wrong with the API or if something there is wrong with the network, so we are displaying the error state, I mean response status along with the HTTP code along with the this one error message. So if I come here, let's do one thing. Let's check here. So yeah, we are getting the actually correct this one itself. We are getting body ID, title, user ID, right? So this is working correctly. So if you have any this one, basically any wrong thing in the this one API, so they are just displaying the error here. So I hope this is clear. In simple words, I'll just explain quickly what I have done here. If response is not okay, this one, if not of response not okay, this one basically checks for the HTTP errors, right? Then throw new error. This one, what this does here is this one throws an error for the handling. As there is no error, we were getting the output. If there is some error, we will basically this checks for the HTTP errors and this one throw new error. This throws an error for the handling. I hope this example is completely clear. Now you know how to make use of the fetch API and also the error handling mechanism. So I hope this concept is completely clear. Next, we will go with the functional programming in JavaScript. So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.